You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast. We'd like to welcome Brother Thomas to the program. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Thomas.
Alaikum salam, sir.
How you doing, black man?
Fine, all praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir, brother. Just give people a little background on who you are, brother, and then we can get into your beautiful transformation. I think that can help a lot of young brothers and some sisters that they're dealing with trials as well. Floor is yours, my brother.
Yes, sir. My name is Brother Thomas 6X, formerly named Thomas J. Easton. From Washington, D.C., born and raised in Southeast. I went into the military in 1981. I got out in 1995. Excuse me, 1995, and did 14 years in the military. From there, I got caught up in the wilds of the world, should I say, and I was incarcerated and did 17 years. In 1990, got locked up in 1995. Actually went to trial in 96, so I was released in 2012. Did roughly 17 and a half years in the belly of the beast. It was there that I found Islam, although that wasn't when I was first introduced to Islam. That was the first time I actually said to myself, this is what I'm gonna be a part of, for my life, for the rest of my life. In there, nobody actually called me to Islam but Allah, but that's where I wind up. It wasn't too far. It wasn't a hard change for me because the simple fact, I had a military background, family and father, family is military. So it really wasn't that much a change to accept, and or adapt to. But what found me to be incarcerated in the belly of the beast was, I was in the drug game, as a lot of our people are. I was out there trying to chase that fast money and things, and I really didn't have no reason to. Like I say, I was in the military. I think I'm somewhat educated. I went to college and got my little degree or what have you. But we got caught up, and I don't feel no kind of animosity or anything like that. I'm not mad about it or anything like that. It's just something that happened. All praises due to Allah. And we got to go through things. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we got to go through things in order to move forward. Or to better ourselves. And I think through all that, Islam, what gave me peace of mind, kind of cleaned me up, made me the person that I am today. And I thank Allah for it because I feel good about myself. I really love the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the brotherhood, the camaraderie, everything that goes with it. The brother wanted me to tell my story. My story is this. I've been in there, went in the military, to thinking I'm better in myself or what have you, serving the devil's military. I've been all over the world, so to speak, not every place in the world, but a great majority of it. I enjoyed myself. I tried to make it all that it could be for me, unfortunately, we had to part ways because I was missing out on spending time with my daughter. And so, I decided to get out the military. I mean, you just got to keep in mind, to make that type of decision, it was kind of hard because all I had to do was 6 more years and I could have retired, so, like I said, I wasn't hurting for anything, what I'm saying? I really, I really don't understand. For real, I don't even understand why I did what I did or the things that I do. That's between that. Only
Right.
Allah knows, saying what he has planned in store for you. But I do
Yes, sir.
know that the best thing for me was coming to Islam. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it made me a better person, a better man, a better father. uh, you know, just overall, it was a, it was a, it wasn't a hard choice. You know, uh, I was out there ripping and running, gunfighting, chasing women, uh, drinking, you know. Uh, I did my share of everything, partying in clubs and everything, and I don't miss none of that right now to this day. See me in a club. Nobody can ever say they see me smoking, drinking, you know, chasing women, all, hanging out at night. Well, yeah, I don't miss any of that, you know. All praises due to Allah.
So let's
So,
ask this, brother Thomas.
mhm,
Okay, so let's get into the mindset because you set the stage
mhm.
for, like you said, you went into, the drug game, which a lot of young brothers get into, and in today's time, females have gotten into it as well. You did state that you wasn't hurting for nothing, but just want to share with those who are diving in that game. And normally that drug game, I haven't met a successful drug dealer that didn't face a hard consequence for their actions. It just so happens that, whatever reason, Allah found a way to stop whatever he's doing, and this is how you wind up following Islam. So those young brothers or sisters who are listening, who are in the game right now, you let them know that there is no good place or a good end game at the end of the road, being living that lifestyle.
Yes, sir. You hit it on nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think there's no successful drug dealers. You only have a limited span or a limited season, as we say, to be successful. The devil offers you all kind of things, you know what I'm saying, and gives you all kind of things, only to snatch them away from you anytime he wants. You know what I'm saying? So you have a little success. I don't think you're really successful in the dope game. I can say, in not being arrogant or boastful, you know what I'm saying, about anything or the minor or the little success that I did have in the dope game. You know what I'm saying? I can honestly say that I was a millionaire twice, not even knowing, actually counting my money, you know, but I can honestly say I was a millionaire 2 times. And that wasn't even from selling drugs. But that's not the thing. I'm not trying to boast that or promote selling drugs or getting into the drug game. I'm just saying all that was snatched away from me in the blink of an eye, you know. So you're not really successful, you know what I'm saying, in the drugs. No, the end game is bad. You know what I'm saying? The outcome is you're gonna wind up dead, or you're gonna wind up hurting somebody else, or you're gonna wind up hurting somebody's family member or your family member. And you if you really think about it, you're really not contributing nothing to society that's beneficial. You know, uh, me personally, I don't like when they show all these different movies and rap about the glorification of all these different things that you can get from selling drugs or being around drug people or people who sell drugs and things of that nature. That, to me, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like it. You know what I'm saying? Because really, by me going through it, I can look back and say it was the dumbest thing I ever did. You know, it's no gratification. You get temporary gratification, temporary success. You know what I'm saying? And then after all is said and done, you have nothing to show for it, because he shows you, the devil will show you that he gives it to you and he takes it away. You know, he gives it to you and then he takes it away. He gives you a glimpse of being successful. You know, he makes a promise to you. You know what I'm saying? And the devil ain't never kept none of his promises. He only says he calls you and you come. You know what I'm saying? It's on you. But to the point, I don't look at it as being successful in the dope game. And I'm here to tell you right now that I had, when they came and they arrested me, they took everything. So it's just like starting back over. And that was one of the hardest things. But through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Islam, you know, I was able to overcome, you know what I'm saying, all that adversity, all the things, you know what I'm saying, that had me caught up, you know. I I just don't think it's no beneficial end to it. And for those who say that there is, I'm here to tell you that it's not. And for all us young ones who may listen, or young brothers or sisters who may be in the game, trust me, get out of it. Get out of it. Because it's nothing. It's an illusion. You know, it's an illusion. You're looking for the fast way, the fast, you know, the fast come up. You know, like I'm gonna use me. Like I said, I really didn't need the money, but I did it because I got caught up in all the glamour, the fame, and stuff like that, being known by everybody. You know, uh, chasing money. You know, I was making money like $5,000 a trip, sometimes 3 and 4 trips a day. You know what I'm saying? I would get paid on both ends, but that's all what the devil will put before you. You know what I'm saying? Put before you. You know what I'm saying? To keep you going, to keep you interested, to keep you entangled in the web. You know, it's an illusion. It's a trap. You know, so I would say to our young people, stay away from it, bro. If you get the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? After you done tried everything else, try Islam. You know, try Islam. I gave everything a try. Christianity, I was, man, look, I would want to go to bat for Christianity. They say born, saved, and filled with the Holy Ghost. I was like that. Believe it or not, regardless whether I turned to the drug game or not. But when I was in the military, I was a Christian. And I'm not knocking out Christian brothers and sisters. I'm not knocking it. But I'm saying I didn't find in Christianity what I found in Islam. What I
Yes, sir.
found in the teachings of the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And believe me and trust me, they are life-giving teachings, because they give life to a once dead people or once dead person. You know what I'm saying? I was dead and didn't even know it. But I thought I was lying because I was getting this, I was getting that. I had females, I had money, I had the cars, I had the houses, I had the nice bank account. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm living my best life. But it was all an illusion. It was like the Matrix. It's all an illusion, you know? And so when I found myself, you know, getting got caught up and everything like that, you know, you never just want to say you got enough. You think you always got to have more. You always got to have more. And if you want to say that you're a successful uh drug dealer, or you want to say you're successful in whatever things that you do, not just necessarily drugs, there's other things that you can be doing that you know is not in line, you know. But if you say you are successful, the only people that I think that may have a little success is those that know when to get out. Those that said enough is enough and they get out before they get caught up. If you
Right.
want to say that's successful.
Yes, sir. So I'm asking you a question,
Mhm,
Brother Thomas.
mhm,
Now, if you're going to transform and bring us to the place uh, before Islam, you get caught and you're
mhm.
going through the system.
Yes, sir.
And the reality hits when you get the sentence, you get the time.
Mhm,
When it actually, and I heard this, I've never been in prison before, but I understand that when you hear those bars close and they shut,
mhm,
the reality
mhm.
hits. Can you share
Yes, sir.
about that mindset? Because that's a challenge by itself, that you
Yes,
had
sir.
all this luxury. Now you're in a small cell. It was saying with the time that you've been given, that got to
Mhm.
be a mental and spiritual challenge by itself. You like to share your count to that?
Yes, yes, sir. All praise to the Lord. Like it's like this, like the brother said. Um, when I arrived, I got my case in Texas. You know, they wouldn't even allow my paid lawyer, which I got out of Atlanta, Mark Edwards, to come into the courtroom. So the system is already set up against you. You know what I'm saying? In the feds, I'm just going to share this with you. In the feds, they have a 99% conviction rate, you know, and that's mostly because most people plead out, you know, and they may not have wind up having to do a day in prison, but because they didn't know, they put the fear factor in them, you know what I'm saying? They plea out. About 98% of their cases is plea agreements. That other 1% out of the 99 that they convict, those are the ones who actually had the go hands, if you want to say, or the nerve to actually take them to trial and make them do what they supposed to do to find them guilty or not guilty or what have you. But the system is already rigged against you. But me thinking that the system is going to work, because for real, as I shared with my brother previously in a prior conversation, they didn't get me for what I did. You know what I'm saying? They got me for something they made up on me. You know, I never sold dope. I drove dope. Let's make it clear. And that's how I came up on my money. But they charged me with selling a quantity of cocaine known as crack cocaine. They didn't even say what the amount was. You know, and so I'm sharing with you this part before I get into when I heard them doors close or when I went behind the door, you know what I'm saying? And then when I got in Atlanta, but it's already rigged against you, but you thinking that the system is going to work because that's the way they have you believing. But they also tell you that 9/10 of the law, ignorance is 9/10 of the law. You know what I'm saying? They not teaching you the law in school. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know, really, you don't know that you breaking certain laws or that how certain laws are being applied because you never was taught that. And they playing on that ignorance. And that's why most people plea out, because they don't know their rights and they don't know the law, or they have a minute understanding of the law. So first and foremost, when you go in there, that's the most scariest thing, when you realize that it's rigged against you. I knew it was rigged against me once I stepped in the courtroom and they told my lawyer he couldn't come in. And they assigned me a point-of-court lawyer right then and there. My lawyer had to sit outside. So now, when I get found convicted, and the funny thing about me getting found convicted, one of my co-defendants knew how much time I was getting before we even went to trial and shared it with me over the phone. You know? Now you may say, how did they do that? Because this individual, who was a female, she was out, and they do things like this. Make no mistake about it. They'll let a person work outside of jail for a period of 6 months or whatever you. You know what I'm saying? That person able to go out and do what they got to do before they actually got to report to jail. And they still working for the police. You know what I'm saying? So it just so happened we called home and she told us, all four of us, how much time we was going to get. She said she overheard them in the room. And sure is, when we went to sentencing, all of us got the time that she said we was going to get. So it's already rigged against you. And like I say, that's the most scariest thing, knowing that it's rigged against you. You still got to stand before all these people, and you don't be before a jury of your peers. A jury of your peers just means, you know what I'm saying, people in society who are American, who don't have any, you know, any type of you know, felonies or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not even in your age group, you know, and they don't even look like you and me, but they might allow you to select one that look like you. Now, when I get sentenced and they give me 22.5-year sentences, 22.5-year sentences for both counts. And they say it was crack cocaine, but on the table they had powder cocaine. And this is a reality check. The powder on the table was way less than what they charged me in crack. So they sentenced me to crack, not to powder, to enhance my sentence to 20 years to life. And they call themselves doing a favor for me at sentencing by saying they're going to give me the lower end, which was 264 months, which is 20 I mean, yeah, which is 264 months, which is 22 years and a half. So now when I get sentenced, and they sending me to Seegersville first, and for those who don't know, Seegersville is like a high end where people from Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, they be in there. You don't really know that until you get in there. But once you pull up there, you got a little small window that you can see the highway from. People don't even know it's a prison. It's like underground. Only thing is up is about that much window space where you can stand on something and look out. And everything in there is self-sufficient. When you go in there, you get off that bus and you don't see nothing but stairs. They shut a thing down behind you, and you go in there and they say, you go this way, you go that way. But first they ask you, do you got a problem with anybody in population? You know, because if you do, they're gonna send you another way. But I didn't have no problem with nobody in population. I ain't never, what they say, snitched or ratted or, cooperated with the police on nothing. And they send you in and that door shut and you don't see nothing else. No daylight, nothing else. From that point on, that's scary. When they slammed that door on me, the first thing that I said was, I never gonna see my daughter again. And to be honest, I cried. When I got in my cell, I cried when I was by myself. I ain't talking about out loud or nothing. I'm talking about I cried. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, I messed up. I ain't even had to do this. I shouldn't even be here for real. That's when the reality sets in. When that door, it wasn't even the amount of time that they gave me. But when that door shut and you knew you wasn't gonna see the outside no more, because that's the way they build in prisons now. Everything is inside. The gym is inside. You don't see no outside. You look up, all you see is a ceiling. No windows. No windows. That's what scared me. I mean, I ain't saying scared like I'm worried about somebody doing something to me. That scared me was the door slamming and not knowing if I was going to ever see the outside again. Like I was saying previously, I wasn't afraid of somebody doing something to me or worrying about I did something to somebody else. I was afraid that I never would see the streets again, even though they gave me a number, a date, because there was a lot of people that didn't have a date. They just had life. Some had deceased. And there's a difference between life and deceased. In the feds, life is 30 years. Deceased means you're going to die in prison. Unfortunately, I was some years short of 30 years, but all praise is due to Allah. That was a blessing. But when they said that and the door shut, that's when it registered up here. This is real. This is real.
Yes,
and
sir.
like I don't care nobody say, even the strongest man cries when he goes to prison. Like I say, ain't nobody in there whimpering all out loud, although you do have those who may not have the time that I had, or may have not had the time as some people have, a lot more. But those who come in there and they might have 10, 15 years, maybe 5 years or something like that. But I say anytime is a lot of time for the things that people of color are going to prison for, and
Yes,
for
sir.
them to give me that much time, and I hadn't killed nobody or anything like that. I haven't I don't, you don't make nobody buy no drugs. I ain't never heard nobody making nobody buy no drugs. You know what I'm saying? And them hitting you life sentences of 20 to life for driving dope. You got people out here running around deliberately killing people, don't even get 10 years. They might get 5 to 10. They be out in 5 on the street, and I'm still sitting in there. But yeah, bro. When the door's shut, it's real.
Yes, sir.
And that's
So
when you're gonna find. Yes, sir.
you're in the cell, you go through your transformation,
Mhm.
and I think anytime, and it's a natural reaction. I know most people go through it when you get closer to God in a bad situation real easy. You know, people become atheists and they get in a bad space. All of a sudden, prayer comes automatically because
Mhm,
within you, you tap in to reality now because you're
mhm,
praying that something in a higher power intervenes in your affairs.
mhm,
And I think that a lot of people start seeking that higher power when you're looking for that higher intervention.
mhm.
So we fast forward, you're going through your trials.
Mhm.
Did you start reading the Bible, the Quran? What what introduced you to get close to either questioning questioning Christianity or you getting close to Islam? What was the introduction like?
Well, first and foremost, I always question Christianity. It wasn't a doubt in my mind because the first thing it was my question, even though I was saved and everything, baptized and everything, and I was, this is real. Um, always question about people. Always. Yes, I was a Mason. You know what I'm saying? You know, I say was, but they say once a Mason, always a Mason. But yes, I was a Mason, but that was the first place as far as any type related to religion, because in Masonry, everybody got to believe or have a religion, and they got to believe in God, you know, and they come out the Bible. But one thing they don't tell you at the end of that, you get a Quran. But anyway, the thing is, always questioning Christianity. But when I first went in, you know what I'm saying, before you go to trial, you in what they call a little holdover place or what have you. You know, I was in County Waco. They used to have little Bible study groups in there, you know what I'm saying? Within each cube, you know what I'm saying? You always got that one who's supposed to be a proclaimed minister or know the Bible or whatever. You know, I used to go to those things, you know what I'm saying? Because as you said previously, we are those people of color are naturally, you know what I'm saying, turn to God. That's the first thing we got, Jesus, when we get in trouble. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? When we get in trouble, we naturally do that. Uh, you know, but you go off the subject, but we know that only reason why we called on Jesus because the ship was Jesus. We were slaves on, but you know what I'm saying? Once that ship pulled up, we wanted that we Jesus get us back. But that's neither here nor there. But I always questioned Christianity, but what turned me to Islam was, like I said, it wasn't that hard of a uh, decision to make because it's based on a pretty much like a military SOP. You know what I'm saying? The mode of operation is basically the same. And I was raised that way from a child. You know, discipline and respect and taking responsibility for your actions, that was already installed. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I didn't have no reason to do what I did. I did it because of greed and fame and stuff like that, the limelight. But once I'm in there and got to doing things, you know, I was selling cigarettes. You know, at that time they had cigars in prison. You know, I used to have AC Grenadets, the green, long green cigars. I used to sell them. I used to get them, you know, sell them because they were like money. Cigarettes like money, cigars like money, you know, stamps was like money, salmons and mackerel, I mean, excuse me, mackerel, cans of mackerel was like money. I was, you know, I was making hooch and everything. You know what I'm saying? Hooch is alcohol. I was making all of that. You know what I'm saying? And selling it when I first got in here. You know what I'm saying? And the first year, you know what I'm saying, when I was in there, you know, I was going to the services and everything in the Nation of Islam, not because nobody invited me to give me something to do, because like I say, even though I'm from DC and it was people from DC in there, you know what I'm saying, I've been in the military. That ain't my life. That really is not my lifestyle, you know, not knocking my brothers from DC, you know what I'm saying, love them, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, I was kind of to myself, you know, and matter of fact, a Sunni brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm showing you how I got to Islam. A Sunni brother used to see me on the yard. You know, I was doing things by myself all the time. They were like, man, why you ain't with your homies, man? You know, eight of my homies was in some foul stuff. You know what I'm saying? We known for throwing them hands, but they was in some foul stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Sunni dude said, yo, man, come on over here with me, man. And I'm gonna introduce you to some of some of your homies and stuff like that. So we got to talk. It was a cool dude. He called him 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? And he was just telling me some things about being on the yard and sharing some things about prison. Yeah, 6ix9ine introduced me to some of the brothers in the Sunni community, and he also introduced me to some brothers from DC. And he invited me out to come on. And matter of fact, he introduced me as a good brother to the Sunni community. He said he one of us, man, bam, bam, bam. Because I told him, for real, I said I'm Muslim because I didn't look at myself as no Christian. Because when you come in, they ask you what's your religion, and I told them, they said, "Are you Christian? Are you Sunni? Are you this and that?" And I say, "No, no, just put me down. I don't have no. I said I don't have no religion. I believe in God, but I don't have no religion." And he said, "No, you got to choose one of them." I said, "Well, if you're gonna choose one, if you gonna put me down for one, put me down for being Muslim like that." I ain't even say Islam. I said, "Put me down for being Muslim." And he say, "Are you Sunni? Are you Nation of Islam? Are you?" You know what I'm saying? He was at, and I was like, "Man, just put me down for Islam." You know what I'm saying? I don't belong to none of them. So they said, "Well, we need to know where you belong to, the Nation or Sunni." I say, "Man, put me down for the Nation." You know what I'm saying? Like that. So go back to 6ix9ine when he introduced me to some of the brothers. He said, "Yeah, good brother. He's Muslim, this and that." I said, "But I'm not Sunni. I'm not, Shiite. I'm not nothing. I'm just Muslim. I believe that Allah is God." You know what I'm saying? I believe that all black people are Muslim. That's what I told him. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even really have knowledge that was part of the teachings of the Most High Muhammad, even though I had been introduced to him, invited out when I was in Texas at Corpus Code. But I wasn't fully engulfed in anything like that. I just said it, through my travels in masonry that, all of us are Muslim, black people, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm on the yard, and I see a couple brothers recognized me. Evidently, they must have seen how I was moving because I was still in military posture, you know what I'm saying? I was walking with a certain walk and stuff like that. And they was like, they kept coming up to me talking about like, "You're a Nation." I was like, no, not knowing that they were a Nation because they had on brown khakis like I had to, but they was all the way buttoned up, their shoes with extra shine, you know what I'm saying? And they had that little glow about them, you know what I'm saying? And so I went out to a couple of meetings, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, nobody asked. I just went because, I was trying to just find myself basically. And I went in there and I heard them, I didn't stand up right then and there, came back. Like I said, it took me almost a year, you know what I'm saying, before I actually stood up, but it had to be something that resonated with my spirit, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nobody saying, "Come on here." One thing I don't do, I ain't no follower, although you got to be a good follower to be a good leader. I'm not one that follows. I've always been in the front, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not following nobody to nothing, you know what I'm saying? Unless I feel like this is right or, my spirit agrees with it. So when I was in there and they asked a question, after some time going, hear him speak, I just stood up, because like I said, it wasn't a hard decision, but I knew that I had to do something to rehabilitate myself because prison does not rehabilitate you. Prison only makes you a better criminal, and let me expound on that real quick, because the reason I say that is because the classes that you have in prison, at one time, yeah, they was being funded and they was doing what they supposed to be doing, having teachers from the outside coming in and things of that nature and giving you certain skills. If you wanted to take psychology, they had the courses there for psychology. If you wanted to take carpentry, they had those in VTech, what we call VTech. You know what I'm saying? They had those classes in there. If you wanted to get your GED, they had actual teachers coming from the outside who was getting paid to come into there. And then they stopped all that. Now, the actual date when they stopped it, I don't know. But I know it was basically right around 96, 97, you know what I'm saying, that I found out it wasn't like, you know, the teachers wasn't like that. They wasn't offering certain things no more. You know, when I get in there, they got inmates teaching the GED class. They got inmates teaching how to be what the stock market dudes are dudes who
Brokers.
own brokers. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to learn about stock, they had people teaching. If you wanted to take business management, they had inmates doing this. If you wanted to learn about real estate, they had inmates doing this, because most of the people that was in the Fed, what you got to understand, most people in the Fed, a lot of them already got money. A lot of them was already successful out there, lawyers and governors and, you know, people that do them high end crimes. Not shunning it down, you know, like it ain't no people who do lesser crimes in there, but the majority of people in there, because the Fed really wasn't designed for the little small man on the totem pole. It was designed for organized crime. You know what I'm saying? Corporations and stuff like that. You know, and that's why so many people is, that's why it's so filled up with you know, little people on the totem pole now. People selling rocks who may have been smokers and stuff like that. You know, conspiracy. That's what they got me for, conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? That was for organized crime. It wasn't for the lower man. But anyway, you know, I came to Islam and you know, and you know, I stood up and I accepted. Like I said, it wasn't that hard of a change, you know what I'm saying? Because I got tired of doing what I was doing, and I knew I had to rehabilitate myself, because the prison system wasn't going to rehabilitate me, you know. Uh, and that's the God is honest truth. It does not rehabilitate you. It only make you a better criminal, because everybody in there who got locked up was teaching what they got locked up for, and they was showing you shortcuts. They wasn't showing you the correct way. That's why they got locked up. So they show you the way they Ponzi schemes and stuff like that. They show you how to do that. You know what I'm saying? How to get ahead and things like that. I was locked up with the #1 person on the FBI, or FBI's list, as the #1 con man in the United States. And believe it or not, he was the one who wrote my sent my paperwork to the judge to get me a reduction in sentence under the Obama crack law. I had been fighting them people for 5 years, spending my money, going back and forth through the appeals courts, to the Supreme Court, and all of them kicking my paperwork back, saying, you know, it was a harmless error. You know what I'm saying? As them sentencing me to crack versus powder cocaine, because the amount of powder cocaine they said I was responsible for was only 498 grams of powder. That's 5 to 10 years. Whereas crack, anything over 500 grams of crack, which they converted to 498 grams of powder to 728 grams of crack. How you do that? If you got any type of chemistry in your body, you know that when you cook, when you add baking soda to it and you cook it to cocaine, it's gonna lose some. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna gain nothing. But they gave me more crack than they said I had powder. And that put me in the 20 to life category on the sentencing guidelines. But anyway, so I come into Islam, you know what I'm saying, seeking a better way, you know what I'm saying, and I found just what I was looking for. You know, for real, I had never, my father, I'm gonna say this for the record, my father had never told me he loved me, that I can remember, until I came home from prison. But when I got in there amongst the brothers and listening to Minister Farrakhan and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Farrakhan, because all we had in there was the tapes and the videos of them. I heard "I love you" more times than I heard in a lifetime at that particular time from them and from the brothers, you know. So we became, the brotherhood was just like being in the military, I'm saying, to a certain degree, but only for righteousness, you know.
So what was
And
it like, Father, you said the brotherhood. What was it like for brothers who are dealing with um their challenges as well? And you could pretty much say it's like segregation, where you have the odds against you. People who are looking to get out will segregate naturally for the greater good of the population. So what was it like the brotherhood within those realms of the prison system?
you relating to,
The
are you
Nation of Islam.
saying,
Now you with the brothers, the Muslims.
mhm,
We don't
mhm.
technically divide Muslims,
Yes, sir.
with the Sunni
Yes, sir.
nation. We,
Yes, sir.
technically have to do that. If you submit you with Allah and you follow
Mhm.
the principles,
Yes, sir.
you're doing what you're
Yep.
supposed to do as a Muslim. You're judged by your deeds and the things that you do. But you're among
Mhm.
the brothers. That brotherhood, what was it like in the belly of the beast?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm gonna tell you now. In there, you found more love, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. More love there than you did out on the street, bro. When I say
Was that due to
we
the
had,
circumstances?
I think it was due to the teachings that we all engulfed ourselves with, and that we accepted from the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As I said, they are life-giving teachings, and that they give life to a dead people or dead individuals in this case. You know what I'm saying? So in there, the brotherhood was so tight. You know what I'm saying? We went to the showers together. Not saying that we showered together, but brothers went to the shower together to make sure that each one of us was secure, whether we was in the same dorm or not. And we made it a point to have brothers in every dorm or on every tier. You know what I'm saying? So that nobody would be by themselves at no time. We didn't separate ourselves from each other. They separated themselves to us because the way we dressed, the way we carried ourselves, the way we spoke, the way we ate, you know what I'm saying? The things that we digested, not physically, but spiritually and mentally, separated us from the rest. We hung around, we was around the Aryans. If anybody know about the Aryan Brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? We played basketball against them certain times. Yeah, it was a competition thing, but we didn't discriminate against them just because they was Aryan or just because they was white. Yeah, we hate their nature, you know what I'm saying? The things that they stood for. But as a person, we didn't discriminate against them. You know what I'm saying? We didn't discriminate against nobody. You know what I'm saying? And those who didn't want to associate with us, they separated themselves from us. You know what I'm saying? But we dealt with everybody because for real, uh, uh,
So make it something clear before you move forward, brother. You said that Aryan nations and the Nation of Islam is playing ball against one another.
yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
something I
sir.
would love to see on the
Yes,
Olympics.
sir. It used to be a big thing.
Right.
It used to be a big thing. We used to play against MS-13s and everything. We played against everything. Mexican mafia, we played against everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it was like we were the top tier, you know what I'm saying? And everybody wanted to dethrone us. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't a bad thing, as people looking up to you like that, because we always had something to give the people. They turned to us, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what people want to admit to or anything, they turn to us for certain answers and questions and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, you know what I'm saying, we didn't like to debate or anything like that because that's not how we are taught. But when the challenge is put to us or they bring it to us, then we have no choice but to step up and do what we got to do. Everybody used to challenge us on everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You know what I'm saying? They used to have in the chapel, and of course, they had the devil's chaplain in there too. He'd be like the referee, but they used to have in the chapel where everybody from every different community come up in the nation, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's community is represented, and we used to go at it, debate, whether it be religious, political, or what have you, even as simple things as birth control. You know what I'm saying? We debate, and we first out what we know or what we have been taught on the table up against any of them, and we used to come out on top. Everybody know that throughout the BOP. That's how we know. Now, for the people that would challenge us on certain things, you know what I'm saying, try to come up against us because, you know, some people think that, you know what I'm saying, they just gotta, you know, gotta try to take something or,
Correct
you
you,
know,
right.
pump something, you know what I'm saying? And but you know, we always stood our ground and we held firm and everybody respected us for that. You know what I'm saying? We gave respect, like we taught, you know what I'm saying? Muslim respects all people, but he demands respect. And that's the way we carried ourselves in the BOP. We
Right.
respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? But we demand respect too. We are humble. But don't get it twisted. You got killers and everything else up in there, you know what I'm saying? But they just accepted a way of life that they felt was best for them or that they know is best for them. See, I know this is the best thing for me and many other people, you know what I'm saying? And I have no problem with sharing with you what brought to me, I mean, what was given to me and helped me to accept Islam because, you know, I think it's the best thing going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The best thing going. And like I said, we didn't separate ourselves from nobody. The way we walk, the way we talk, the things we ate, you know what I'm saying? Our appearance and everything, you know, the way we interact with people, even the security guards, COs, we call them COs, you know what I'm saying? Even they respected us, you know what I'm saying? But they knew that we wasn't cooperating with them on nothing. I mean, we did what we had to do. We followed, you know, we obey those in authority over us and those in authority among us. But you know what I'm saying? Uh, it wasn't none of that. We helping the police or nothing like that. We just did what we had to do, and we stayed in accordance with the laws and restricted laws of Islam.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we did what we did. And that's the way we moved. We were self-sufficient. We didn't depend on nobody to do nothing for us. You know, uh, we adhere to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we even got the Sunnis. We had Juma with the Sunnis. You know what I'm saying? Uh, because we had to let them know we believe in the one God, and that's the common denominator in all religions, the belief in one God. You know what I'm saying? And we can come together, we can agree to that. Everything else is small matter to a giant, you know?
Right.
And so we was able to bridge that gap with the imam from the outside, who once was in the Nation of Islam, because a lot of them were members of the Nation of Islam at one time or another. And you know, their biggest thing is how did we view Master Fard Muhammad? You know, and as we are taught, we believe he came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Yes, Master Fard Muhammad has a birthday. Yes, you know what I'm saying? We know he's a man, but we can't daggone make a law lesser than what he is by saying he can't appear in the person of a man. Allah can appear in whatever he wanted to appear. He appeared in the jackass in the Bible, if you believe that. You know what I'm saying? The stories of the Bible. So he can appear in whatever he want to appear in. But we know that he works through man for the benefit of man. So if he gonna come to a man, guess what? He gonna come in the appearance of a man. Because we are physical people. So we deal with things in the physical. You know what I'm saying? And so why would he come in something other than a man? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
anyway, that's what they had a problem with. You know, how we view the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a messenger of Allah. You know, but once we explained that to him, and he felt comfortable with it. Matter of fact, he even gave us a position in their community. You know what I'm saying? They had what they call, well, I forgot the actual name of it, but it's like a council.
Hmm.
And he said you should give them one of the seats. You know what I'm saying? At the council. I mean, when anything go down as far as our communities and stuff like that, we have representation there too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we was able to have, and I thank Allah for allowing us to come together, because that showed that we can come together and get along for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? And so uh, they talk about Islam in prison, you know, because a lot of them, that's what they practice, Islam. You know what I'm saying? They don't think that we really Muslims. So, you know, a lot of them kind of shirked us off and say, you know, we're not Muslims, so they didn't want to deal with us. But a lot of them did continue to pray with us. So we thank Allah at that particular time for as long as we was able to come together and do what we do. But yeah, brother, you know, we didn't have no, we didn't separate ourselves from them. They separated themselves from us, you know. And like I said, it was because of the teachings, you know what I'm saying, how we
Yes,
move.
sir.
Yes. And
So let me ask you
yes,
this,
sir.
Brother Thomas. Um, we fast forward and you hit the outside world. The
Hmm.
brotherhood, is behind you now.
Hmm.
Um, when I met you, I don't think I think you either just got married
Hmm.
or you was new to a lot of things going because you just got out not too long, right? So
Hmm.
you're in the world now, and
Hmm.
you leave one set of brotherhoods for a new set, and
Hmm.
you have to transform. Now I know when you get outside, more things are accessible to you now. Temptation is
Yes,
going to be
sir.
around. All
Hmm.
those elements are there. How
Yes,
did
sir.
Islam keep you grounded to make sure that you stayed on the straight path, to make sure that you didn't deviate again?
Yes, sir. Well, first and foremost, all praise is due to Allah. It was only through the permission of Allah that I was able to come up out of the belly earlier than what I was. I could have did the full 22 and a half years, but as I stated, I only did 17 and a half years because of Obama crack law. Allah put it on Obama to do what he had to do. But it was Allah, my submission, my total submission to Allah's will, which allowed me to come up out of that belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that I just did time and came out. I had to totally submit myself to do Allah's will before He allowed me to come out early. If I understand, because if you read chapter 5 and chapter 6, or Surah 5 and Surah 6 in the Holy Quran, it talks about hell. It talks about hell, and it says hell is not eternal.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if it's not eternal, that means at some point in time you can come up out of it. But if you go and read the footnotes, and they begin to enlighten you as to what is actually saying, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like to read the footnotes, but if you read the footnote, it's like the way Catholics view purgatory. It's just a place where you just in limbo. You know what I'm saying? In limbo, and they say you burning, but really you going through trials. You know what I'm saying? Trials and tribulation. That whole time you in there, and it ain't until you submit and say, "I'm gonna let Allah take charge of this thing." You know what I'm saying? I mean, I stopped fighting my case. I said I fought my case for 5 years. It wasn't until I said I'm not going to fight my case anymore. I'm gonna let Allah do what He gonna do, and He brought the crack law. And then it came back that I got knocked down to 200 and something months, and that let me out the door. So it wasn't when I got out. No, it was when Allah allowed me to come out. So now I'm on the street. One thing we learned when we wrote off our letters to Allah, to Allah, Master Father Muhammad in the person, it said upon completion, you are to report to your local mosque and complete your registration, meaning complete my sentence. You know what I'm saying? I still have to complete my registration by going directly to the mosque, and that's what I did. And when I get to the mosque, right, and I go there because the Quran says don't go into any mosque that's built on a bad foundation or temple or anything like that if you find it on a bad foundation. So I just went a couple of times to feel it out and everything. Because before at first I was in Baltimore at the halfway house, so I had to catch the train from Baltimore to DC. On the weekends, they give you pass, and I would go to the mosque. But when I came home, I was catching all kind of hell because I couldn't find a job. You know, uh, my son's mother, you know what I'm saying? Me and her was living together. She said I could come stay with her, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the terms of my halfway house, you know what I'm saying? I could have even went back home with my father, or I could have went came with her, you know what I'm saying? Because my mother had passed, but I'm like, ain't no two grown men up in no house together, you know what I'm saying? Can't swing like that, you know what I'm saying? So I went with my son's mother, you know what I'm saying? I known her for at that particular time 20 some years. 27 years at that particular time. I knew her ever since we was in like high school, you know. So I knew her, and like I said, I got a son by her. So we stayed together, and I thank Allah for her because she was patient. You know what I'm saying? She was patient. So to the point what you was saying, brother, when I came into the mosque, and you was there, I wasn't married there. I got married like a year after that, after you came. I
Right.
think it was a year after that. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember us being down in the FY class and the captain say, set some goals. And I say, I want to be married. So we had to put the goals down. And it was in December, and that January, when we come back, we had to see where we was at with the goals. I think it was November. And when that January, we had to see where we was at with the goals. And when I came back, I was married. Right? All praises due to Allah. But I thank Allah for my wife because she made that whole transition. Man, I'm talking about easy. When they say a woman, you know, when you choose a woman, make sure she's your help meet. She was my help meet, brother. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about MEAT. I'm talking about MEET.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She helped me meet the goals that I was trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? She was the breadwinner, and she still is to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? But she was the breadwinner. She didn't put too much on my plate. She didn't put nothing on my plate that I couldn't handle. Well, a lot in place anything. Like Quran say, a lot of place not a burden on you that you can't handle. You know what I'm saying? And I thank Allah for her because I got my first job through her sister. You know what I'm saying? Working at the Safeway. People say that's a Safeway. It ain't no money. Yeah, you're right. It ain't no money, but it's more money than I was making in there. I was only making 17 cents an hour in prison. You know what I'm saying? So they paying me $15. I mean, $14 at that time. I worked my way up to like 16, but they were paying me $14 at that time. You think I ain't gonna go to work for them? Shoot, I can work 2 days and get more than I worked for a whole month in prison. Saying maybe one day. You know what I'm saying? You making $18 a month or $23 a month in prison, and then one day you making $60, $70 or maybe $100, you know, on a good day up at the same way. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. And, you know, it wasn't hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then I tried to stay loyal to Safeway, you know what I'm saying, for them giving my first job. But in between, then, like I said, I had started taking up culinary arts as well. You know what I'm saying? I had already had my surf safe. You know what I'm saying? So that was one step further into completing what I had to do. And once I got my food managers and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I came into this, one of my partners who I was in the halfway house with, he had started working on the boat as a runner, meaning he would run the food up and down, you know, on the decks and stuff, on the levels, make sure the buffets was good. He got me a job. He introduced me to a female who was a sous chef, but she was in the Navy. She had got out the Navy.
Mm.
See, so right now, see, you know what I'm saying? So he introduced me to her. I came down, he introduced me to her, and she was like, you said you got your food managers and your surf safe, and she said, you was a cook in the military? I said, nah. She said, well, I was a cook in the military. And I said, oh yeah. I said, I can cook though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a cook, man, you know what I'm saying? But I developed my skills and I was explaining that to her. So when I got on the boat, she helped me get my certification in cooking and everything like that. So she made me a cook. And as I was cooking, working up under her, you know, that's where I got all my skills. And so that was my second job. So I'm working 2 jobs. And then I got a job at the Woman, third job at the Woman, you know, so I was doing security. So I had 3 jobs at the same time, you know, but my thing was, and the reason I was working the way I was working, because Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan told us that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to be looked at as a spouse. I mean, a dependent. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you don't want to be one of them men who every time you turn around, you got to ask your wife for something. You know what I'm saying? Babe, can I get a couple of dollars to get on the bus? Baby, can I get a couple of dollars, you know, to buy a pair of socks and stuff like that? Or baby, can you do this? Can you do that? You always up in her face. You acting like a dependent. You become a dependent. She gonna look at you like a dependent. And I said I would never do that. So before I got those 3 jobs, with that being in mind, the backdrop, what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, when my wife used to go to work and come home, I had food already ready. You know what I'm saying? I might even have a bath. You might laugh and think it's kind of corny. I might even have the bath ready. You know what I'm saying? But I cleaned house. You know what I'm saying? When she came home, all she had to do was clean herself up, eat, lay down if she want. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, you know, she couldn't look at me as though I was somebody that wasn't doing nothing, you know? So that's why it pushed me to get, you know, to get on my feet. You know, like I said, I had to work 3 jobs. I had like an hour and a half between each job. You know, the most I had was 2 hours between each job. I would get off one job, come home for an hour, change clothes, go to the next job, leave that job, go straight up to the security job. You know what I'm saying? From the security job, I would go to the boat, you know what I'm saying? Because I could change, take a shower and everything at the security job at the Warman, because they had a place where you could eat. They had a cafeteria where you didn't have to pay. You can go down and the meals was already cooked. You just go down and get what you want, eggs, whatever. And they had a place you could shower. So once I go down there, I leave, right before I get off, I go in there and shave about 6:30 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Change my clothes. And when they do relieve me, I go straight, get on the subway, which was 2 stops over from where I had to get waterfront, get off there and go to work on the boat. And then after that, I would come home for 2 hours, then go up to the Safeway. You know what I'm saying? So my day was like that for almost about, when you came, you know, I was still doing that for about 4 or 5 years, about 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I had 3 jobs and I was out there selling the paper. You know what I'm saying? So it was a challenge, you know what I'm saying? But I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Allah blessed me. It was only through, you know, the permission of Allah that I was able to find work, because it was hard. When I was in the halfway house, man, the people was not hiring me, man. And I had to, and they wanted halfway house. Trust me, the system is rigged against you. They don't want you to be successful. The halfway house take 28% of your check when you in there. You know what I'm saying? You got to find a job. It just so happened I had a good counselor. She was like, "You're not gonna find a job, but you're just not gonna find a job, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," but all of them liked me because of my background. I went to college, I went to school, I was in the military, I had certifications in carpentry, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. So I had skills, and they knew that, you know what I'm saying, and they knew I was in the nation. You know, they knew I was in the nation because we used to have little meetings up in a little TV room. You know what I'm saying? And we used to keep it going, me and like 3 more brothers. But they liked that, so they gave me a little leeway. I was fortunate to get out of there without actually working, where I had to give them 28% of my check. So when I came home, I made it my business to get a job so that I can do it, and I put myself in a better situation to take on a wife. Like when her mother was alive, Allah be pleased with her, because they was associated with Union Temple. You know, they started the breakfast program. Her father was a deacon in Union Temple before he passed away. Her mother helped build that kitchen over there and get it running before she passed away. So they was rooted in Union Temple, their whole family. They used to sing in the choir and everything. But I know my wife now for going on 30 years. You know, like I say, she been my help meet. She didn't put too much on my plate, even though I had 3 jobs. She knew they wasn't making much, you know, but I would give her half my check every time I got some. I don't care if it was $99. My first check was $99. I gave her half my check, and every time I got paid, I would give her half my check. She didn't ask me for it. She didn't tell me this bill need to be paid, that bill need to be paid. She did. It wasn't until she she seen in me that I was able to take on more that she started giving me little bills to pay. She would set a bill on my dresser, like phone bill or something like, I mean, a cell phone bill. She started doing that. That was only at that particular time $25. I had one of them little Net 10 phones. She said that on. Here you go, babe. You think you handle that? I said, sure. She would set it up there. Then she gave me the cable bill. You know what I'm saying? Which at that time was 100 and something. And I started paying that, but she added it on me slowly but surely. She didn't just hit me with, oh, you gonna start paying some bills, you gonna start doing this and that. No, she gave it to me at the, like they say, you apply the right medicine at the right dosage.
Doses. Right.
That's what she did with me. So she was the woman for me that Allah sent to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people don't get that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come in, the woman be hopping on them, hype, even though you trying to do your best, but your best just don't be good enough. You remember that saying, But my wife, the one Allah sent to me, which was a blessing, she gave everything to me in the right dosage. And she helped me get there. You know what I'm saying? She helped me get, she would go online, you know what I'm saying, help me. She would even go to me to the little places they had where you would put together your resumes and stuff. She would take off work and come there. And let me tell you how good my wife is, man. Let me say this. When I first came home, I was kind of institutionalized because in prison, there's certain laws and certain rules outside of what society say. And I had a problem. Well, I didn't have a problem, but one thing in prison, you ain't just walk up on nobody. You just didn't stand in front of nobody. You just didn't cut in front of nobody. You ain't stand on close. You always give everybody their space. You know what I'm saying? So I had a problem with getting on the bus and on the subway because people be all close up on me. And I wasn't used to that. Give me arms room, you know what I'm saying? Don't just walk in front of me like that, you know what I'm saying? Or walk past, bump into you and stuff. So I had a problem with that. So I used to stop right where I was at, and I would call her on my little Net 10 phone, babe, come get me. Come get me. Because it was like I would freeze up. It's almost like I would lock up and wouldn't move because I didn't want people that close around me because I was about ready to snap. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really, and to this day, I still stand in the back door of the bus if I ever get on the bus because I don't want to be around. No, I want nobody talking about, they had a reason to bump into me or stand all close to me. I try to put myself in a position where I don't block nobody. I'm not, taking up nobody's space, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can say I'm in their way and nothing like that. And if I need to get off the bus, I ain't got to walk past them. I can just get off the bus. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get used to that. But all praise to Allah, she was to get me, you know what I'm saying? If I kind of got lost or something, she'd stop what she doing. She's like, where you at? And I tell her where I'm at. And that's another thing. I didn't like being someplace I didn't know where I was at. Because, when you be gone that long, things change. People change. People die, move on, places change, you know what I'm saying? Landmarks change and everything. So sometimes I would find myself somewhere where I thought I knew, but I really didn't know it no more,
Yes, sir.
And so, she would come get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about literally come get me. Where you at, babe? Stay right there. She'll get on a train, bus, whatever, and come right to where I'm at and say, you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. And we'll go off. You know what I'm saying? But she used to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I thank Allah for that. You know what I'm saying? Because not too many women would do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And
Praise be to Allah.
she realized the trials that I was going through. The other trial I had, and I really don't, because I don't know how people would take it. Was I mentioned that the Quran said don't go in to a mosque with a foundation. Is that not that the mosque was nothing was wrong with the mosque? It's just that the way we when I was in prison, the way that um the way that we was taught in prison, like, again, you got to understand that we was only given what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us and what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would teach us. That's all we had. The books of them, Master Fard Muhammad, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so we getting the practical, we getting the studies down, you know what I'm saying? And we engulfing with, the teachings and everything. But we don't have the practical application of it, meaning the hands-on part. So when you come to the mosque and you checking it out or whatever, things may not line up with the way you have, because what I had to realize is that the priorities are different. In prison, you have plenty of time to study, plenty of time to work on self, plenty of time to sit back and engulf yourself and actually carry adhere to what it is you learn, you say you a part of. And so and we was tight, you know what I'm saying? So anything that we did together. And we was always in accord. You see what I'm saying? We was always in line. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't, if you seen one Muslim, you couldn't tell the difference from another Muslim on there. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about height or weight or something, yeah. But but when I get to the mosque, things were a little bit laxer than what I actually was being taught. We was more stricter, you know. So the things that were, it was things there. You knew it was nation, you knew it was the mosque, but the perception that you have in prison versus the perception when you get on the outside was it threw me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say that. It threw me a little bit because the priorities were different. When you come out into the world and you come into the nation, the basic teaching structure is there. You know what I'm saying? But the priorities are different because you have more on your plate in the world. You know what I'm saying? Versus because you only a microcosm of the megacosm. You see, you a small city within a big city. You know what I'm saying? And so the world where I came from was a small world of the bigger world. So we had more time to do work on things dealing with self and only dealing with a small how you say, a small day-to-day things, day-to-day life things. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't dealing with things like they got to pay bills and, you know what I'm saying, they got to get from point A to point B. They got children to take care of. You know what I'm saying? They got a wife to take care of and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? All those things come into play when you come out on the street. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but the things outside of that. You got to worry about if you're going to make it home. You know what I'm saying? Just going from home to work, you don't even know if you're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? When I was riding the bus, and I said I used to stand in the back door, man, you see some of everything. You get challenges all kind of ways. People saying all kind of crazy things, people doing all kind of crazy things, and you got to be able to maintain your discipline. You know what I'm saying? In situations like it.
So on that part, brother, and like I said, we just want to show respect the time that you have given us, brother, because you gave us a lot of nuggets, and we want the people to be able to digest what you gave. But as you come out, we thank Allah for that. And since I've known the brother, he's been a stand-up brother over the 10 years that I've known the brother. And I'm happy that Islam gave his foundation. So in closing, brother, what can you share with the brothers or the sisters listen through your trials, your beautiful story that you shared, and let them know that whatever dilemma they're doing, whatever wrong they're doing, whatever negative spotlight that they think that hustling or anything unlawful is giving them, that if they haven't got caught yet, this is a great time to get out. What can you share with them in closing, brother?
Share with them what happened to me. I was on my way out and I got hit up. I was on my way out and I got hit up. I had purchased 3 houses. I had 2 different women. They both had brand new cars. I had 3 cars. I even had a 4th house in Severn, Maryland. They had a car parked there that I hadn't seen but one time. You know, so I say, if you're gonna get out now. Get out now. Stop what you're doing. There's no what you say, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, that's an illusion. We all know that's fake anyway, but it's an illusion. You know, there's no silver lining, brother, to this thing. Get out now. And like I say, you done tried everything else, try Islam.
Mm.
You know, that's what saved my life. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They are just that, life-giving teachings. You know, stay away from it. You know, don't listen to the music and look at the videos and the movies and things and these old, what you call OGs running around here telling you, trying to glamorize being locked up or being in prison. It's no glamour in it whatsoever. It's all an illusion. You know, I'm here to say that it's only death in that what you are doing, brother. If you're in the game, I don't care what kind of game it is. If it's not righteous, you know, there's no life in that. You know, there's no silver lining in that. You know, like I said, there's no pot of gold at the end of that. So I say, you done tried everything else, give Islam a try. You know, give Islam a try. It'll bring peace to you, give you peace of mind. It'll give you that freedom that you're looking for, you so desire. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be what you call it, them people who go and speak, motivational speaker. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to, be there and for raise your children right, you know what I'm saying, and to be a good husband, you'll find all that in Islam. You'll find all that in Islam. I'm not saying Christianity ain't good, but if you're gonna be we are taught that a good Christian is a good Muslim, and a good Muslim is a good Christian.
That's right.
So I'm not saying you have to just come to Islam, but I'm saying is that's what I found it worked for me. And I'm trying to share with everybody who will listen. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared of Islam. As those people, you hear people all the time say, "Oh, them some heathens, them some they ain't, they following this, they following that, they don't believe, they ain't, no, forget all that, man. Try it. I'm telling you, try it. That's all you got to do is try. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Right. That's right.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. See, and don't become a part of it because somebody invited you out or because you see that's what everybody else. It's place me not under obligation by your Islam, but place you under obligation. They called you to the faith, and the thing they called you to the faith was God, Allah. And Allah simply means God. So don't nobody scare you with that. We saying the same thing. You just use using different language. You know what I'm saying? Not like different language, because that's the Arabic word for God, Allah.
Different language, same definition.
Same definition. If I say 1 + 1 = 2, and you say 0 + 2 = 2, we saying the same thing. We just getting it a different way.
That's right.
So I say, brother, but the bottom line is get out of that. Get out of that while you can. You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow is not promised to you.
That's right.
Get out of it while you can. There's no end game to that. There's no end game. The end game to that is death.
In that order.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
All praise to Allah.
Well, brother, I want to definitely thank you for sharing your story, brother. It was compelling. And those who are listening, I pray that you listen to our brother's testimony. And, you can't outsmart what was been designed to destroy you. A lot of you might be staying in there thinking that you're going to be smarter than the system. The system is designed for your destruction. It may not get you now, it may not get you 5 years from now, but it has a perfect timing to think that once you believe you are at a certain place, it's all gone before you. And one thing that I do believe, and it doesn't have to be at a drug game, that God always gives you a way out. Whether you choose that door or not, that's upon you. He may give you a couple of chances, but doesn't mean that you guarantee them chances because you're ignoring the warnings. Just like you may have a smoke alarm. It's going off for a reason. There's smoke somewhere, whether it be a smoke from a cigarette, from the stove, or somebody lit a match. There's fire somewhere. And if you ignore those signs, you might be caught yourself in a blaze that you didn't have an opportunity or gave yourself an opportunity to escape. So I say that metaphorically. So I want to thank my brother for coming through as always. And man, I pray that Allah that, we reach some people to hopefully change some lives. That's the goal. Brother Levon X, inshallah, we have another podcast coming. And you see more Brother Thomas. And by the way, Brother Thomas has a business called Rep My Kitchen. The brother just baked a hell of a cake for me, and I appreciate it. So make sure you support our brother. You definitely start seeing some more things on our website. And if you want to go to the website, our website is www.brother spelled out BROHER, my name LEVONX, communityreporting.com. I definitely have a link attached to this podcast. Then you probably see some more of the stuff, which you will see soon from Brother Thomas and Rep My Kitchen.
Yes, sir. All praise and due to Allah.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Like Islam, sir.
As you can hear behind me, the crowd is going wild. They're waiting on Brother Levon X to give his next report. The brother has been very informative, and everyone is so excited about his next form of information. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Levon X.
Here he is, your Levon X. Your Levon X. Here he is, your Levon X. Conversation. Here he is, your Levon X. Your Levon X. Here he is, your Levon X. Information, conversation, stories too, maybe an interview. Brother, just keep it cool. We loving what you do, showing us self-respect. Can't wait to see what's next. Hey y'all, it's time for Bonnet. Here it is, the one and only. Here he is, Mr. Levon. Conversation. I said, here he is, the one and only. Yeah, here he is, Mr. Levon. Information. Here he is, the one and only. Here he is, Mr. Levon. I said, here he is, the one and only. Yeah, here he is, Mr. Levon. Here he is, the one and only. Here he is, Mr. Levon. I said, here he is, the one and only. Yeah, here he is, Mr. Levon. Information.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Levon X.